Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Accidental Beauty. If you're new, welcome. My name is Laura. I'm a self-taught makeup enthusiast who just loves glittery, sparkly, multi-chrome makeup, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. I ordered 4 eyeshadows from the brand Clionadh Cosmetics. These 4 in particular. If you haven't heard of them before, they're an indie brand based in Toronto, Canada, which is where I happen to live. No connection whatsoever to the brand, it's just conveniently they're located in the same city as me, and they've been around a while. They've been gaining some traction online, and they're known for their very bright, colorful, glittery multi-chrome shadows. So I already own quite a few shadows, and I've got 1 or 2 videos talking about them on my channel, so you can check those ones out if you're interested. I'm going to be trying 4 more these shades. I'm also going to be swatching these on my eyes, on my wrist, and also creating a look using all 4 of these shadows. So I'll leave timestamps below, so if you don't want to see everything, if you want to skip to a particular part of the video, you can do that very easily. And without further ado, let's just get into the video. I have been putting off this video for a long time because I don't enjoy making these types of videos, but I like having these types of videos. I like to make videos that are helpful for other people, but they're also helpful for me to refer to them later. It's just such a pain to film, so I always put it off, but then I'm glad after that I have them. So I ordered a few Clionadh shadows. Their multi-chromes aren't cheap. Their other single shadows are pretty much average prices, I'd say. Their multi-chromes are, the pigments to make them are more expensive, so they're going to be more expensive. And then another thing that people don't like about Clionadh is, aside from the prices, because they are on the pricier end as far as brands that make multi-chromes, it takes a while to ship. They are based in Toronto, which is where I live, so as far as once they actually ship, they arrive to me very quickly because they're not too far from me. But they're, I think, a 2-person operation, plus I think they hire staff to help with packing and things like that. So I think it just takes them a while to produce their shadows because I believe they're still doing everything by hand, if I'm not mistaken. And they've become a more popular brand. So obviously there's more demand for them, which means there are more orders, which means it just takes longer because they aren't a huge team. That doesn't bother me personally, but it seems to bother a lot of people. So I just thought I would point that out. Anyways, we're gonna open this up. So, oh my god, this is so cute. Oh, maybe I did order this around the holidays. Anyways, they included this really cute thank you card, and it's personalized. I just love things like this. I think this is really cute. It just says, "Happy holidays. Thank you so much for supporting Clionadh Cosmetics. We hope you love your new products and can't wait to see all the amazing looks you create with them. Don't forget to tag us on social media at Clionadh Cosmetics and use the hashtag Clionadh Cosmetics." Then it says, "Thank you, Laura," and they wrote in my name from, I can't read what this says. I think it's Maggie and Lee and the Clionadh team. I just love that personalized touch that you get with these indie brands. I think it's just really sweet. It makes you feel more connected to the company, and in turn, it builds that sort of relationship that makes you want to order more. Just for fun, I'm gonna switch to my phone so we can just do a little quick unboxing video that I'll probably just post to TikTok, and then we will get to actually swatching on my eyes.
So why is it so hard to let you go? To let you go. So why is it so hard to let you go? To let you go.
I'm gonna try and capture all the different shifts on here. So this first one is Grisaille. This next one is Abrasion. This one is Carving. And then this last one is Bloodline.
So why is it so hard to let you go?
Just prime my eyes with the NYX Glitter Primer. I use this for everything, especially for these types of shadows. So I'm just going to stick these in a magnetic palette just so it's easier to get to them. This is what the shades look like. It's really difficult to capture them on camera. I did my best. They all kind of blend into each other, I feel like. And the swatches and images that I've seen online make them look different. So I'm hoping that I can capture some more shifts. I seem to really be drawn to anything with like a green or purple shift. So I'm just going to swatch one on each eye. So we'll start with the top two, one on each eye. We'll take a look at what they look like. I'll take those off and do the bottom two, and then I'll try and create a look using all of these. They are all sparkly multichromes, so I'll do my best to create a cohesive look with all of them, and then at the end I'll talk about my final thoughts using these. So we're gonna start with the shade Carving, and I'm gonna just put that on my left eye. I'm just gonna use my fingers to apply it because that seems to be the best way to get the pigment to deposit nicely on my eyes. Brushes can sometimes be finicky when it comes to this type of formula, so I really just want it to perform to the best of its abilities. It's not dry, it's not super flaky, but there is a little bit of grit, which I find is the case with a lot of Clionadh shadows. I personally don't mind it. Ooh, we're getting like a nice, wow, look at that shift. So we're really getting those green tones on camera. In person, I'm seeing a green to pink shift. Seems to be more when natural light hits it. I'm not really getting that, but I'll see if I can try and capture it. Anyways. Ooh, I love that. Yeah, okay, so when I turn my head, you can see over here as natural light is hitting it, we're getting more of those sort of pinky purple tones. This is beautiful. I was worried that some of the shades would look too similar in person, but they all seem to, at least so far in the pans, look different. Wow, look at that shift. We're really getting that like metallic, just beautiful shift. All right, so that is Carving. Just for fun, I'm trying to capture Carving in natural light. I'm standing in front of my window, but I'm still getting those green tones. Just want to see if I can try and get some of the sort of pinkier tones to show up. Not really seeing that. It's funny, I see it. Okay, here we go. I'm kind of getting it now in less direct light. You see it sort of changes from like a very, very reddish magenta-y pink to green. I think that's really cool. And then it changes to green. And then it changes to pink. Very cool. Next I'm going to try Bloodline. And this is the only vibrant multichrome. The rest of them are the glitter multichrome formula. Formula is a lot smoother feeling. Like it's very velvety feeling. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay, so actually I should show you on camera. It shifts from like almost a purpley base to a greenish, yellowy, blue tint. On camera, it's showing up more as like sort of a yellowy shift with a pinkish base. And then on my eyes, it's also kind of doing the same thing. It's very, very interesting. Definitely a different formula from the glitter multichrome formula. Really, really unique texture and shift as well. Though I'm having a hard time capturing that shift because right now, like, I'm not getting any of that blue. I'm just seeing the pink and the yellow. So again, this is, what is this one? This is Carving, and this is Bloodline. All right, so this is Bloodline. And I'm gonna try really hard to capture all the shifts. This one seems a bit shiftier than Carving, but I don't know, I'm having a hard time getting all the sort of pink, purple, blue shifts. Okay, you can kind of see it from this angle if I'm sort of standing here. Just trying to move around this room and try and get it at different angles. This one is really, really tricky to capture accurately. There, you can kind of see the blue if I turn my head this way. A little bit. I will remove these and then we'll look at the next two. So we're gonna do Abrasion next. And I'm gonna do it on this eye. Less gritty than Carving, but not as smooth and velvety as Bloodline. Okay, this one's showing a very, very blue on screen with kind of that teal reflect with sort of a purple base. You can kind of see there is a bit of a blue reflect as well, which I'm seeing in person, but then I've also got like a pink reflect. It's very, very beautiful. And again, this one is also that glitter multichrome formula. Okay, this is the type of shadow that I personally am drawn to. I love these kind of bluish purple shades. And again, that one is Abrasion. All right, so this one is Abrasion. And you can kind of see that teal reflect running through. I'm really trying to capture all the different shifts. So let's see if I turn this way. We're kind of getting more of the bluey purple reflects as I turn my eye, or as I turn my face. And then if I go this way, you can kind of see a bit of the pink in the outer corner here. Really, really pretty. The last one is Grisaille. This one's also a glitter multichrome, sort of similar feeling texture. Ooh. So this one is sort of that type of shade. It's not really showing up on camera, but the shade where it sort of goes from like a reddish pinky color to a blue shift. Every brand kind of does this type of color differently. Oh wow, this one is very, very glittery. So it's a pink base, it's got like a glittery sort of teal blue shift. On camera, it looks very, very subtle. In person, it's a lot more vibrant and a lot more glittery. And this is Grisaille. The last shade is Grisaille, and it's over here. And it's sort of that pinky blue shift that a lot of brands make. Trying to capture more shifts, which you can kind of see as I go side to side. And then if I turn this way, does that make a difference at all? Not really sure. Anyways, so I just want to show, I wiped off the eyeshadows on my hands and just look at how like almost wet looking they are. It's like that beautiful kind of iridescent fairy glow. It's so pretty. These are like a bunch of them mixed together, but it's just so pretty. And then I also swatched them on my arm, which hopefully you can see. So we have Carving, Bloodline, Abrasion, and Grisaille. Just trying to get different shifts here. Try and turn down the light also so we can get some shifts. Maybe if I just turn, oh, if I go this way. I'm going to be creating a look using all 4 of these shades. They are all multichrome glitters, so it's going to be a little challenging. I'm going to have to dip into some other palettes and eyeshadows to create a cohesive look, but I'm going to try and make these the star of the show. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to have Grisaille as my inner corner highlight. I'm going to use Abrasion, no. I'm going to use Carving and Bloodline, I think, on my eyes because they both have that green shift. So I think those will play off each other nicely. Then I'm going to use Abrasion as my lower lash line shade. I don't know. So I'll dip into my ColourPop in a Trance palette just because these shades are mostly kind of warm leaning. I'm going to dip into this shade called Crown Chakra. It's sort of like a satiny shade, but I find it basically shows up as a matte. I'm gonna put this in my crease. Yeah, okay, it does have a bit of that like sort of foiled, frosty kind of texture to it. But you know what? I think that might work nicely with everything else that we've got going on. But I just need a little bit of color in my crease. I'm going to prime my eyes again with the NYX glitter primer. Just going to do that all across the lid because I really want these shadows to stand out. I'm going to do a halo eye. Let's start out with, I think, Bloodline. I'm going to put that in the outer and inner corner. And I'm hesitant to use a brush because I find that it doesn't really pick up the way I want it to, but I want to be more precise, so I think I'll just have to use one. Yeah, it like sort of picks up on the brush, and I'm bringing that actually all the way up to my crease, so it sort of mixes in with that ColourPop shade. And this actually applies pretty nicely using a brush. Next, I'm going to use the shade Carving and stick that in the center. Oh, that one actually picked up decently on the brush as well. Because these are so iridescent, their base pigment isn't super dark, so it's a little bit more forgiving, I find, when you layer multichromes like this over each other. And then another fun thing I find with multichromes is when you layer them over each other, or you do something like a halo eye, so you've got different multichrome shadows next to each other. It just makes it look like it's even more shifty, and it's like one multichrome that shifts into a million different colors. It gives it a really cool effect. And you've got that kind of like fairy iridescence going on. It's really, really beautiful. I'm going to go into Abrasion next. And because that one is the darkest one, I'm going to be sticking that under my lower lash line. I'm debating whether I want that to go all the way across or just in the center. So I'm going to start just in the center. I didn't put down primer, so hopefully that won't be an issue. That seemed to pick up on the brush pretty decently. I'm just going to stamp that on. No, you know what? I think it needs primer. I just got it on my eye. And I'm just going to put primer all the way across my lower lash line just in case. I'm going to just stamp that on because it's a very small area. And it's mostly sticking to my lashes, which is kind of a cool effect, but not what I was going for. You know what? I kind of like it just sort of in the center area. I'm going to go back into Bloodline, so that first shade that I put down, and I'm just going to connect the top and bottom. I hate putting anything on my lower lash line for this very reason, because I just get eyeshadow particles in my eye and it's incredibly uncomfortable. But it creates a really nice effect, so I like to do it for kind of like videos or looks that I post to social media, but day to day I usually don't bother with it. And for inner corner highlight, I'm going to dip into Grisaille. Because it's got that pink shift as well. I'm just blending it up into my crease. So it's one cohesive look. Looks like I've got one eyeshadow that shifts a million different colors, but it's all very cohesive. So that's it. Super, super pretty. Really love how this turned out. It's a lot softer than I kind of expected. Depending on how the light hits, you do have those darker areas, which gives it dimension and it doesn't look flat. Sometimes when you put a light color, it sort of flattens everything, and you need those lighter shades mixed with those darker shadow shades to make something look a little bit more cohesive and three-dimensional. Oh, this is so pretty. So I'm going to finish this up. I'm just going to add a little bit of eyeliner, put on some false lashes, and just kind of finish up the whole look. And then I will be back to talk about my final thoughts. I'm back, and this is the final look. All right, so let's talk about these eyeshadows. They are magnificent. I mean, I'm kind of biased because I already own several Clionadh eyeshadows. This brand is one of my favorite brands, and I'm just really, really pleased by the way that these eyeshadows perform. No surprises whatsoever. I mean, I knew that they were going to be spectacular. If you're really into multichrome pastels, these shades are all, with maybe the exception being Abrasion, but the other three are like perfect if you're really into that sort of fairy, whimsical, pastel, light, ethereal look. These are perfect for you. Now, they are very glittery, and I believe it was carving. Yeah, it must have been carving. Carving did stain a tiny, tiny bit, but if you scrub it with soap, that seemed to get it out mostly. So, and that was the swatch on my wrist. I didn't really notice any staining on my eyes, but I did put down a primer first. What else can I say? I mean, these are just absolutely beautiful. I'm just so pleased with the way that these shadows perform individually and the way that they create this cohesive look that I have on my eyes today. I definitely recommend all four of these eyeshadows. I give them an 11 out of 5. I love them so, so much. Interesting because they just look so different in person than they do in some other swatching videos. So I really did try my best to accurately portray how they show up for me in my lighting. And other people's lighting setups might be a little bit different, but I really did try and show it in natural lighting, in artificial lighting, to give you the best idea of how it actually looks. The way that Grisaille in particular is swatched online, it sort of looks more like that red to blue shift that you see in pretty much every multichrome brand has one of those. And I'm really not seeing that very much the way that I applied it, but it could also just be my lighting. But like, I really tried to look at it in different lighting, and I don't particularly see it. I was really trying to find a dupe for this Pat McGrath palette. I can't remember what it's called, but I swatched it in person, and I can't wear Pat McGrath eyeshadows because I'm allergic to like an ingredient that's in pretty much every single shade. So I was really trying to find a dupe for that particular shade. I thought Grisaille or Abrasion might be close. I don't really know if they are, but they are stunning on their own anyway. So I'm absolutely no regrets with this purchase. I'm so, so thrilled. Highly recommend you check out Clionadh if you've never heard of the brand before. And especially if you were looking at buying any of these shadows, highly recommend all of them. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Let me know in the comment section below if you've tried any of these shadows, or if you were thinking of trying any of these shadows, and if my video helped you make a decision at all. I just really love talking about makeup, recommending makeup to people, and I love anything sparkly, glittery, anything with multichromes. That's really my jam. So I'd love to connect with other fellow makeup lovers, especially people who are into really fun, colorful, multi-chrome makeup. So if that's your thing, feel free to add me on any of my socials. I link them in the description box below so we can talk more about makeup. And if you like the type of content that I post here on my channel and you want to see more content like this, I would love it if you could subscribe and turn on notifications, and that way you'll get updated every time I post a new video, and I'll see you guys next time.